So your wife called you emotionally unavailable. You've read the books and tried everything to connect with her, but nothing is working. Now what? Good question. Let's talk about it.
Good question. Good question.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Muslim Marriage Podcast, where we show you how to find and build a healthy marriage as a Muslim. I'm Zara Hassan.
And I'm AJ, and we've been married for 4 years.
And before we get started, so this is for the single sisters. I'm working on a pretty exciting project for those of you who don't know where to find a husband. If you know that you're supposed to tie your camel, but you're not sure how to do that, I will be making an announcement next week about how I can help you directly find more people, In Shaa Allah. But for now, now let's get started.
The tire camel, the leash is not included.
All right.
Bring your own leash to the lessons.
Okay, very interesting. My mind just is discombobulated trying to apply the analogy, but it's probably deeper than I can handle.
It's literally simple. It's surface level. Tie your camel.
Yes.
How do you tie a camel?
With a leash?
With a leash.
Okay, very interesting. So this episode, we haven't done an episode for married people in quite some time. My apologies. I didn't forget you. We just took a break during Ramadan, inshallah, to focus on fasting. But we're right back at it. Inshallah.
Right back at it.
Okay.
Let's get started.
So this episode is entitled, How Do I Become Emotionally Available? Right. So we covered the last two episodes for people whose spouse is emotionally unavailable, right? And it's been very painful for them to connect with them. However, there are people who themselves are actually really distant and who have a really hard time connecting and are now married, and they can see how they're affecting their spouse and how unhappy their spouse is. So this episode is going to be dedicated to teaching them of how to connect with their spouse in such a way that they're both comfortable.
So now we're at the POV of the spouse.
Yes, the unavailable person. Okay. All right. And I think, as usual, the best way to illustrate this is going to be by going through a question that highlights the different, like how it feels like to be in this situation.
Yeah.
And miraculously, this is from the Muslim Marriage subreddit. So this question is being asked by a brother, right? And he says, this question goes out to all the sisters. A brief backstory. I got married 2 years ago to the woman I fell in love with against all obstacles from my birth family. Initially, we were great. We both appreciated each other and acknowledged the struggles, pain, deceit, abuse, and trauma we have been through as individuals. After a few months into our marriage, my wife started saying that I am emotionally immature and emotionally unavailable to her. Ever since she brought it up, I have been reading books and articles on emotions, mental health, and depression. I listen to her actively and support her as much as I can. On the days that she feels that I said the right things, she appreciates it. But there have been instances where certain things she said has hurt me and I've gotten defensive. This escalates into her saying that I am emotionally unavailable and our marriage doesn't have depth. There is a lot more, but I don't want to get into much of the details. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So as the title says, this question goes out to all of you married sisters and brothers too. If you have some similar experience, what can I do to be emotionally available? How can I be there for my wife when she feels needy? And how can I build up and grow to her expectations? What are the things that you would want to hear from your husband when you are emotionally needy? I want an emotionally healthy relationship with my wife, so please help. So what do you think?
That's a good question. Okay, so he is allegedly emotionally unavailable. She tells him this.
Yes.
He's trying to improve. But, oh no, he slips. And she tells him again, he's emotionally unavailable.
Yeah.
But in between, did she compliment him on him trying?
He didn't mention it. We'll assume that she did or she didn't.
We'll assume she didn't.
Okay.
Right? Because to go from, I can see that you're trying to be emotionally available, and then a week or two later say you're not being emotionally available, right? I think that doesn't logically make any sense, right? So we can make the fair assumption that she didn't say it. Right?
Yes.
She should. Mm-hmm. She should, because if someone is trying to change themselves or improve themselves in order to be more in tune with you and your emotions, your wants, and your needs.
Yes.
You'll want to help them along with that. You want to reassure them on that task. People aren't suddenly thrust into first grade usually, right? They usually have this kindergarten thing where they don't typically learn much of anything, right? It's majority of the time in kindergarten it's just play, right? But it's to get them used to the concept of being in a school for X number of hours per day, right?
Yeah.
Once they become acclimated to that, right, that's when you push them into the deep end.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's pretty much, that would probably make a big difference. Just her making a little bit more space for the fact that he's trying and reassuring him that that she appreciates him trying, right? He did say that on the days that she feels that I said the right things, she appreciates it, right? But there have been instances where certain things that she said has hurt me and I've gotten defensive. This escalates. So it sounds to me like when things are good, when they are just at baseline neutral and it's just a matter of trying to connect with her at baseline neutral, it tends to pay off. But they trip up during conflicts.
Yeah,
right?
okay. So she says something to hurt him.
Yeah.
And then he fights back. So
he didn't describe exactly how.
Defensive, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm assuming.
Defensive usually means arguing back.
Yeah, so he's just, yeah, exactly. Right, so arguing back. They've only been married 2 years. Over time, this can escalate to maybe stonewalling, which is not great, where you just shut down and you walk out of the room. So he's at least defensive at this stage. So her issue is that during conflicts or things that are preceding conflict, just, there's like that little bit of tension that precedes an actual conflict. That's the times in which she has difficulty connecting with him. Because the mistake that both of them are making is that they believe that connection only happens when things are good. It's also important to connect and be vulnerable during conflict in order to resolve it properly. Otherwise, it's not going to get resolved properly, right? I'm assuming that he has developed a lot of sore spots in the language that she uses because they've been married 2 years. People tend to have the same fights over and over again, and they can hear themselves having the same fight over and over again. And subconsciously, they're thinking, well, I said that last time, it didn't work, so they up the ante. You see what I'm saying? And over a couple of years, everybody tends to know what buttons to push with their spouse. So if her intention is, I want to up the ante because he's becoming defensive or he's starting to shut down or he's not really paying enough attention, he's disengaging from this conversation, I need to pull him even more into this conversation, so let me hurt him more, right? That tends to be how that gets out of control over time. I'm assuming that's what's going on. So to address his question, how do I become more emotionally available? So how can he become more emotionally available overall, both during peace times?
Yeah, so I guess like if she says something that hurts him, instead of getting defensive, he just says unacceptable, right? Yeah. And then she'll understand, whoa, something I just said is unacceptable. Let's expand upon that. Yeah. Right? So she'll ask, what is unacceptable? And he's like, well, you said this, and that really hurt me. And I would rather you not say that in the future.
So instead of unacceptable, what if he started with, that really hurt me?
All right, fine. That really hurt me. Yeah. And that's unacceptable.
Okay, so I understand why the need there is to use the word unacceptable, because it's a bit of a shield. It's depersonalizing.
It's a defense.
What it does is it puts the onus back on the other individual. That what you said is the issue. How I feel is an obvious result based on what you said. It's not always obvious, right? There are some things that I can seem neutral that can hurt a person. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you should not return cannon fire is what you're saying.
It's what I'm saying is vulnerability is required. It's a requirement of good conflict resolution.
I hear you.
If a person is not willing to be vulnerable, and that's especially when you don't have a track record of that not resulting in immediate pain, it's really hard to be vulnerable. They're at the point where I think that they need counseling.
Okay. In that case,
yeah.
What if you build your emotional shelter out of sticks?
Okay.
Right? That way, at the very least, you're defended in some capacity.
No.
But when she attacks your shelter, and blows it down, you're stood there in the rubble, and you're like, that really hurt. Yeah. Does that help?
Not at all.
How does that not help? Because
the act of putting up the sticks, right? The act of putting up a defense between.
But it's vulnerable, like, as you said.
No. It's when I say vulnerable, I mean there should be nothing there, right? I mean your self-respect and your dignity. Maintain your self-respect and your dignity always. I'm not saying, throw yourself at the mercy of another individual. I'm not saying
meet her out in the battlefield.
I'm saying be.
I get you.
Yes,
no, I understand.
Yes.
We don't have to expand on that anymore.
We're gonna expand for our audience.
Oh, okay.
With all due respect, there are other people listening. Okay. The reason why that's unacceptable, sticking with your metaphor, is that when there is any kind of barrier, she'll sense it. Yeah. Right? And she'll sense, and any kind of barrier being there is not neutral. You're thinking that I'm holding a shield. I'm not hitting you with the shield. It's a neutral thing. There's nothing for you to be hurt by.
I get it. Yeah. When someone attacks a shield, they also feel the hit.
Exactly.
I get it.
Yeah. When you're being shut out. Yeah. What she's understanding is that you're not worthy of being in here. Yeah. It's a rejection, and that rejection is painful. So she's reacting based on the pain that she's experiencing by the lack of vulnerability and emotional unavailability.
It makes sense.
But yes.
Yeah, it absolutely makes, like, when you explain it that way, it makes sense. Because, like, punching someone's stomach is definitely less painful than punching a shield, right? Yeah. And they'll understand that, they'll know if you have a shield up.
Oh, for sure.
But if you choose to bear the pain, yes, and you show, hey, I'm open and I'm vulnerable, yes, right? They're gonna be like, why am I punching this person?
Yes, it's not even that, because their initial desire is not to punch the person. It's not. Okay, they're reacting to the pain that they're feeling from the rejection.
They're lashing out.
Yes, they're lashing out based on something that they're feeling. Do you see what I'm saying? The rejection is painful. Or the emotional abandonment is painful. Right? Yeah. When they came into the room, when they came into the marriage, their intention is that I love this person. I want to protect them. Their heart is everything to me, right? They have no intention to hurt you, assuming that this was a good person. So when they're constantly being shut out of the situation, that being shut out is what's hurting them. And after a period of time, they start responding. Mm-hmm. So they didn't throw the first punch. The first punch was thrown by the person who was emotionally unavailable by shutting out their spouse.
I hear you. Okay, so it's like if you stand behind glass. Yes. Right? And they see the glass and they perceive the glass to be a thick glass. Yes. And they want to get through that glass, so they punch as hard as they can to try to get through the glass. But it was actually a thin glass. Yeah. And they end up breaking through easily and hurting you.
No, it's not even that.
It's not even that.
It's not even I'm sorry. It's not even the glass. It's seeing that there's a glass.
Oh, beautiful.
It's seeing that there's a glass. It's like coming to your house. This is the analogy. It's like coming to your house, putting your key into the lock and noticing that the locks are changed. Okay. So that hurts. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? You're being shut out and you're not being even allowed in. And you're coming to a lot of conclusions based on your own core wounds and your own attachment insecurities of what that might mean. So all of that pain that preceded this person, just that act of that little tiny shield, it's going to trigger a lot. So
this was a a tough concept to grasp, and I'm glad you expanded upon it.
I'm okay. I'm right. I'm glad we're there. We're on the same page. Okay, so it comes back to the question. How does he become more emotionally unavailable? How does he become more vulnerable? Because he's not putting it up on purpose.
Yeah.
It's reflexive.
How
How did you do it?
did I do it?
Yeah.
I guess understand that you're not trying to hurt me,
Yes.
and that it's best to come to common terms
Yeah.
rather than misunderstand each other.
Okay, so can I ask you, how long did it take to come to that conclusion reliably?
I would say a year and a half, maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
Because usually if something would trigger me,
Mm-hmm.
I would shut down.
Yeah.
And I don't think I do that very often anymore.
Yeah.
But I would know it when I'm shutting down. I would understand that I'm shutting down.
Yeah.
It would just be difficult for me to be the first one to reach out,
Okay.
to open up after I shut down.
Yeah.
Sort of like if I handcuff myself,
Mm-hmm.
I need you to uncuff me.
I know. And I appreciate it, right? Because it takes a massive amount of trust. And I appreciate like the it's very scary, right? You're walking out into a complete pitch black darkness. Right? That's what it is. That's the level of scary it is to when you are used to being protected behind your shield. Like to open up that door, you're not immediately seeing light and happiness and brightness and flower. It's pitch black darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And all you have is the voice on the other side telling you, it's fine, I'm not going to hurt you.
Yeah.
You don't even know if you're stepping onto open air. Like it's that level of trust that it takes emotionally, right?
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. All right, we're going to stop with the analogies.
I used to be like this in high school.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There are times in high school where I just would not feel like talking to anyone,
Mm-hmm.
and I would shut down.
Yeah.
And I would just sit at my desk and just like either stare ahead or ignore people that are talking to me.
Yeah.
Right? I had a phase, like maybe a year and a half, near the very end,
Mm-hmm.
where sometimes for the duration of an entire class, I just wouldn't talk to anyone.
Yeah.
Right? I would just shut down. Wouldn't you believe it?
Mm-hmm.
The yearbook committee comes around and they try asking me to pose for a picture. I completely ignore them.
Yes.
And so they just take a picture of me right there.
Oh,
Like that.
really?
And when the yearbook pictures come out, and I see the picture that they candidly took of me,
Oh, no.
it looks like I'm just in deep thought.
Were you?
It's like some sort of Einstein figure. I'm like, bro, they made me look like a scientist, but I'm over here having a hard time,
Oh. Yeah.
And it was funny when I saw that. I'm like,
They documented
this
it.
does not capture my image at all. I need to change the way I look
Yeah.
when I'm in my feelings.
Oh, I'm sorry. High school is not easy.
Yeah,
Very
it
few-
was a funny moment. I liked it.
It's funny when life documents your pain.
Yeah.
I can see that part's pretty funny.
Yeah,
but
it
it's
was
not-
a pretty funny moment.
High school wasn't easy for almost all of us. So I'm sure we can all relate.
Why do they call it high school? They call it elementary.
Yeah.
Well, it's elementary, Joe Watson, and then they call it middle school,
Yeah.
and then they call it high school, right?
Yeah.
But elementary is not the opposite of high.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be advanced school,
Yeah.
Advanced school is what I think they should call it.
That would be better.
Yeah.
That would make, but things they do rarely make sense. So back to this gentleman's question of how. So I appreciate you telling us how it is what it was like for you to become more emotionally available, and I agree it was about around the 2-year mark, and it's something that you're working on over time, and it's something I'm working on over time on my end as well. So how does he do it? Not for nothing, but you're married to a coach, right?
Yeah.
You're married to a relationship coach. So it's going to be very hard to rely on your marriage alone to help you to program out of emotional unavailability. So my advice is for you to understand that there is a difference between how do I become more emotionally available, and how do I connect with my wife.
Yeah.
One does not necessarily depend upon the other.
Yeah.
Right. So when it comes to how do I become more emotionally available, that's a question of you finding a therapist and starting the journey of reprogramming your way out, or your way out of that. And with the assistance of your therapist or your coach, right, you will be able to use your marriage, not so much use of your marriage, but take advantage of the fact that you're married to practice what they teach you there, in order to reprogram you into not being so concerned about vulnerability. Does that make sense? So the answer to how do I become more emotionally available is therapy or coaching. You need a professional, right? Now the question, the other part, which is how do I connect with my wife? That's totally different. It is possible to fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm going to tell you how to fake it until you make it. So it sounds like there's a difference between when things are good and when things are bad. So when things are good, it tends to be a lot easier because you just go directly to your wife or your husband, whoever is the person who feels like they're being abandoned in the marriage. You go to them and you ask them, what are some of the things that I can do to make you feel connected to me, right? And the best way to ask that question is to take the love language quiz.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, when you take the love language quiz, it goes into quite some detail and helps them think of examples of moments in which they felt really deeply connected to you. And when you have this information about how they receive love and how they express love, it's instead of guessing, instead of asking us on the internet or even asking a coach, you need to just ask this person with this rigorous quiz, right? Take the love language quiz, the love language test. And there's links on that all over the internet. So that's the first thing for when things are good, right? So if you find out that your wife receives love by gifts, there are things that you can do to show her that you really care about her by buying gifts.
Yeah.
One suggestion that I give to all my clients who have a gifts spouse, like a gift loving spouse, is go to the dollar store, right? Buy 50 items that they really, really like, that you think that they'll like on some level. And every day, just go give one of them. Give one of them to them as
Smart.
a gift.
That'll last you like almost 2 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
Right? Or just whatever. Or you can go to, a flower shop. Or, even you don't even have to go to a flower shop.
Expensive. Go to a gardening store. Buy some seeds.
Okay, you can do that, but they want the gift now. You can go to a grocery store, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to think of.
Yeah, you can go to
grocery store.
They have grocery stores. Or if you go to a flower shop, you don't need to buy the whole bouquet. Because one of the misunderstandings is for people who like gifts, it's not about the expense of the gifts. If it's about the expense of the gift, you've married the wrong person.
Yeah.
Right? It was never about you. You just married the wrong person. But for the overwhelming majority of people who are sincere and are invested in their marriage, it's not about the expense of the gift. It's about the fact that you remember them.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Because they're thinking, oh, they went out of their way. And during their day when I wasn't with them, they remembered me. And they bought me something. Another little thing that I could give to the gifts people is that every time you go grocery store shopping, just buy their favorite candy bar.
Yeah.
Everyone has a favorite candy bar.
Yeah, everyone has a favorite candy bar.
Just buy it. Just include it.
Just be careful, though, because some favorite candy bars are no bueno.
Yeah, they're on the boycott list.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So tell them to get a new favorite candy bar.
You like what I said there?
Yes.
So some favorite candy bars are no bueno.
Oh, I like that. That was really good.
That's what's up.
That was good and plenty. I like it.
I'm back.
So that's for the gifts people. As for the people with all the different love languages, I have combined a whole bunch of ideas into my Healthy Marriage Habits Guide. Healthy Habits Marriage Guide, right? Which literally gives you a list of ideas of things to do. You can find a copy of that PDF in the description below for free, right? But that's what you do. Find out their love language, speak it on a regular basis. Now, I think the area where this individual and most individuals are going to trip up is during conflict. And the reason that they're going to have a harder time during conflict is because their blood pressure is raised, their heart rate is up, and they may be
and their cortisol is spiked.
And they might be experiencing some levels of emotional flooding.
Yeah.
Right? And when that happens, we spoke in detail about what that is and why that happens more often in men than in women, just biologically, in the episode entitled why your husband is emotionally unavailable.
Yeah.
Right?
So I would think that when someone is emotionally flooded is I think the only acceptable time for you to be a drain upon others.
Because of the flooding, to relieve the flooding.
Yeah.
All right. So that actually makes things worse if you start draining them.
All right.
You're like, let me just now do all the things that annoy you more.
Oh, I get it. Because they're not the flood.
They're being flooded.
They're being flooded. So they have to work it out.
Yeah.
I see.
So, okay. But why I was mentioning that is to be aware of that reality, right? That things are going to be more difficult for you to fake it during a conflict than when things are good. So what do? You sit down, right? And you do a little bit of introspection of what can your spouse, like, what do you need during conflict? What do you need? Do you need a break, right? Do you need a 20-minute break at random times? Do you need to go take a walk? Like, what do you need in order to come back down to baseline so that you can engage with this conversation? Do you need a day? Like, I would not recommend more than a couple hours of break, but for some people, I've had clients before, they needed a whole day in order to come back down to baseline, right? Because that's just that's the extent of the trauma they suffered during childhood, that they were really shut down.
Yeah.
Right? So just to do a little bit of introspection of what do you need, and then you have a conversation with your spouse, usually your wife, during peacetime, so not in the middle of an argument, of what do you need in order to feel calm. So first of all, explain to them, just say, hey, I understand that I've been really shielding myself during our conversations when things are tough, during conflicts. You're right, I have been more emotionally unavailable during those times, but I apologize for that, but I want you to understand I'm not doing it on purpose. It just feels really like I have a lot of anxiety, which is akin to what they're experiencing, and it just feels really uncomfortable, right? It feels very uncomfortable, and I just need to be able to calm down and come back down to baseline, so that I feel calm enough to be able to be open with you, right? Because whenever I get very anxious or when I get very activated, when my nervous system is very activated, not because of you, but just because I know we're in conflict, it's hard for me to be open in any way with anyone, right? And I know how much that hurts you, and that hurts me. I don't want to hurt you.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm going, like, in order to make it easier for me to be open, I'm going to need a little bit of time, and I'll tell you how much time I need. Right?
What about like a cheat sheet of some sort where they say something like, when I'm ready to speak with you, I'm going to walk like a duck?
Yeah, that's called a repair attempt.
And it's like subtle, right? And so the first person that's ready to break that tension will walk around the house like a duck. Not like
waddle,
doing
waddle.
loops,
yeah.
But whenever they need to go somewhere, they'll walk like a duck. If the other person sees them walking like a duck, they're like, okay, this person wants to reach out to me.
Yeah.
Right? And then they'll start walking like a duck, and they'll both waddle towards each other.
It's a beautiful repair attempt. If you remember, we spoke about repair attempts, right? Who Gottman speaks about this a lot when he talks about conflict resolution. That they notice that spouses, when they are in conflict, in the midst of conflict, one of them will usually do some kind of attempt to de-escalate,
Mm-hmm.
to bring down tension, and they call this repair attempts. And in the healthier marriages, only 1 or 2 repair attempts were necessary. But in marriages where things had become a lot more negative, there had been more pervasive negativity, the spouse keeps trying over and over and over and over, and none of it's landing, right? So just in general, even outside of this concept of emotional availability, if you are married and you're with your spouse, both of you need to be conscious of the fact that of what it looks like when the other person is trying to de-escalate, and to let that work. It doesn't mean that you don't have a right to your anger. You do have a right to your anger. But what it does mean is that you're not shutting your spouse out,
Mm-hmm.
right? You tell them, I appreciate what you're doing. You know, they're trying to make you laugh, try to laugh, right?
Yeah.
Or just say, you know what, that's not funny, while laughing. They do whatever it is that you can do to let them feel like it's landing on you.
2 hands clearing the flood is better than 1.
Yeah, the reason why that is because this is important for trust.
Yeah.
I need to be able to trust that you're not going to be too far gone.
Yeah.
Right? So let their repair attempts work, and talk to them about this so that they will let your repair attempts work. Okay. So back to this gentleman who is emotionally unavailable and who's having a hard time, particularly with conflicts, right? So he needs to do some introspection to find out what he needs in order to calm down during conflicts. Step 2, go and talk to his wife and explain it. This is what I need to calm down during conflicts. And number 3, follow through. Step 3, follow through. Now, over time, you're going to find out that, okay, I was wrong. Maybe I also need this. Or I was wrong. Maybe I don't need this, right? So you're going to adjust that formula of what you need to calm down over time. And that's okay. You might not get it right the first time, but the important thing is that you're both trying, right? And you both are on the same team of trying to get to a point where you can have these conversations where you're both calm.
Yeah.
Right? And finally, overall, like I don't mean just for conflict, but overall, it's really important that you and your partner invest in building that emotional safe space between the two of you, so where you can have these conversations. Because when you are investing in that emotional safe space, what it will do is it will help you to at least partially start to trust that your marriage is not a threat.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And we did a whole episode on how to build an emotionally safe space between your and your spouse. I will put that in the description, or if you're on YouTube, it will be lighting up here at this point. So you can go click on that. But it's really important that you invest in that. That's what will carry you through. Those are the people who have the 50-year marriages, 60-year marriages, are the ones who feel safe in the space between them and their spouse, right? And I think that's everything.
Very well might be.
Okay, all right. So it sounds like you think it might be. Is there anything that we're missing?
Not that I can tell.
Okay, all right. So if you have made it this far into the episode, Jazaa K'Allah Khayr. We appreciate you choosing to spend your time with us. I know how much, I know how important that is. And if you are on YouTube and not subscribed, or anywhere else on the internet that you're listening to and are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do us the favor of going to our YouTube channel and subscribing. It really means a lot to us. Our goal is to reach as many people as possible, to help as many people as possible, In Shaa Allah. Again, if you don't already have our Healthy Habits Marriage Guide, I always get that title wrong, but I think it's called Healthy Habits Marriage Guide. There's a copy of it in the description below. And I believe that's everything. Have a wonderful week, inshallah. Stay safe wherever you are. And assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.